All right, I think we're live. Hi everyone, thanks so much for hanging out. My name is Eddie Zaneski, and I have the privilege of serving as a developer evangelist at a cool company called Twilio, where we power communications for developers. We might talk about Twilio a little bit later. But today, I want to kind of echo what we did last week, where we explored some database options for Node. Just a lot of things that I haven't had hands-on time with, and it was actually a lot of fun. We learned a bit about a bunch of different frameworks and libraries that you can use to do database object mapping inside of Node. It was a lot of fun. So today I want to do something very similar, and I want to explore some kind of background workers, and we'll talk about that in a second. The Bandit Dave! Thank you so much for hanging out, man. It's always good to see you in here. I hope the past week has been well for you. Very cool. You working on anything new lately? So background workers. So generally in the world of not just Node and JavaScript, but other programming languages, you have these operations that are just really like CPU or like resource intensive when it comes to your server. So, for example, maybe you want to process some images, or you want to convert a movie, or any kind of operation that will just like really tie up the processor and the resources of the computer. And your web server, you generally want it to be receiving requests and doing what it's good at, which is like serving web requests. When you have application logic and all these other like video and image processing data and functionality in there, it can really bog down your web server. It can really make it like a bottleneck, and especially in Node and JavaScript, because how if you're not familiar with how Node works, it is a single thread, so there's actually only one thread in the Node process. And it really just runs this, what we call this event loop. And if you heard me talk about it plenty of times before, and the thing that Node is great at is anything that is like I/O bound, so anything that is input-output bound. So when we're dealing with web requests, we're dealing with reading from a database, reading from the file system. All these things are like asynchronous operations. They're either system calls, in the case of like reading from a file, where you issue a system call under the covers and it kind of does everything for you. And there's a lot of like actual time where the JavaScript is just waiting. And the same goes for web requests. So when you make an API request in Node, for example, you send off the data and you kind of like open a socket under the hood, and like there's a bunch of system calls that happen where the operating system takes over, and it's handling all the network requests. And your JavaScript process is like, it's like, okay, like you're gonna take some time. I'll work through my event loop and see what other kind of work I can do, and then I'll check back when you're done. And that's really like the fundamentals of asynchronous in JavaScript. Where you run into trouble, because this process is single threaded and it's running in a loop, is anytime you do anything that is like CPU intensive, that will like really occupy the main thread. So if you're sitting there crunching numbers, doing a bunch of math, converting video, converting photos, manipulating, all these kinds of operations are CPU bound. So when they're happening, your JavaScript process is like working on them, it's focusing on them. So that's why Node is really like successful at these like async and IO bound operations, because it can kind of like push it off to the side, and whenever they're done, they'll get handled. Meanwhile, it can handle like thousands and thousands of concurrent requests coming through, because it's able to just wait and offload these tasks. Okay, so background tasks. So how we generally approach this in like an application building world is anything that is CPU bound is going to take up some time. We like to offload, and the way we do that is with like workers and queues. So we'll take a look at a few options, and we'll kind of like explore these different libraries and different protocols. There's a bunch of different ways we can look at this. The main ones I have lined up are this RabbitMQ process. So this is a RabbitMQ is a message broker. And it's really like battle tested, and there's like tons of network logic around it where you can like distribute these things, and there's like crazy features and these insane, these ludicrous like flexibility, reliability. So it's got all this like wild stuff. So RabbitMQ is like it's like your database almost. Like you'd kick this up as a process. So like you'd start up your database or MongoDB or whatever you're doing, and you'll connect to it. And it's a message broker. So the concept behind it is there's usually like a publisher and a subscriber. So a publisher will be your application. So say you want to, someone uploads a photo and you want to go and crop the photo, change the color, apply a hipster Instagram filter or something. But you don't want to do that in your main process. So when the file gets uploaded, you can save it to the disk, get like a temporary file path for it, and then you can actually hand that off to your RabbitMQ, and there's a worker at the end of it that's running in its own process, and it's kind of just like listening for new messages. And as a message comes in, it'll pull it out of the queue, process the message, and then do whatever you want afterwards. So you're actually offloading that like CPU bound work. So RabbitMQ is a great option. It's used by like a bunch of different companies. The other one we're going to look at is a Redis-bound queue. So you may have heard me talk about Redis before. Redis these days is used for everything. It's basically like a database in memory. Now it's like persistent to disk as well. And Redis is like the cool thing about Redis are its data structures. So like under the hood, it's got these different types of data structures where like it's got a set and it's like key value stores and lists, and it's all just written in like C or C++, and it's just super fast. Like Redis is actually single threaded as well. But it's just really like quick and snappy. And so people have actually taken this and they've built queue abstractions on top of it, just like RabbitMQ. So you can use Redis as a queue, because it's single threaded. You don't really run into these race conditions, or you're mutating different data. So this is really neat. And the last one I want to look at is it's called ZeroMQ, and it's definitely very popular in the Python world, as I've grown to know. And it's mainly it's not like a process you really start up. It's kind of like a collection of like libraries under the hood. It's like system libraries. And there's different language wrappers that kind of like pull in these core libraries, and it's all built on top of like TCP sockets or like system sockets or temporary files. And the cool thing about this is it's single. It runs in your process. So for our publisher, you can hear me say these publisher or producer or consumer or subscriber, all these two different sets of things. So basically one of these will open up a connection and the other will connect to that connection. So maybe it'll open like a local port and listen on it. It'll tell it to open a TCP socket on your system. And the cool thing about both ends is they're very fault tolerant, and they can be configured to know that something will be available eventually, even if the socket's not open. So the subscriber can be like, oh, I'm gonna like wait to open up this connection, and if it's not there, it'll just chill and keep checking. And then finally, when the publisher or the producer connects, it's like, oh, like now I got finally something to do. Hooged GT, Hooged. I'm terrible at names. Thank you for joining us. Are you a software developer? What kind of work do you like to do? I know Dave loves his JavaScript. He's improving on that. Very cool. So hopefully you all get something out of this today. So I guess we'll start with ZeroMQ, because it's really like going to be the lightest out of the two. There's no process out of it, and then we can see like what these other stronger systems give us. And there's going to be a lot of comparisons around it. Use RabbitMQ University project. Oh, very cool. What was the project about? I'm actually really interested in that. It was like a hackathon project or some kind of other task. So I'm just going to create a new folder, and we'll just call this Twtich for today. And let's just dive in. Let's make this like ZeroMQ test. All right. Load up my tmux. I'm going to initialize npm, and we're just going to go ahead and install the ZeroMQ bindings for Node. And I think it's just called ZMQ. Yes. And so you need to have the actual ZeroMQ like C bindings and library installed in your system if you're going to do this, which there's many different ways to. I'm getting some tab completion lag. Oh gosh. ZeroMQ. There we go. So on Mac, you just brew install ZeroMQ. It's very similar on other operating systems. Linux is like apt-get install ZeroMQ and lib ZeroMQ. There's different packages you need. But it's really, at the end of the day, it's just like a set of C libraries and bindings. So you need to have those installed. And then you can go ahead and install the actual JavaScript bindings. It was a text-based multiplayer game based on sockets. Oh, that sounds really cool. I like that. And why did you opt to? Did you have to use RabbitMQ, or was that like the choice you made? That's very cool. All right, so let's start up two processes for now. So let's do Let's call it like pub.js. And then we'll open, this will be sub.js. Alright. And I'm just going to import the library at first. So we're going to grab ZMQ. And let me minimize that. Alright. And then let's see, what does it tell us? So we got to create a socket. And so there's different socket types for 0MQ. Let me see if I can find a good showcase of this. There we go. ZMQ socket types. I was looking at one of these yesterday when I was preparing for today. This is it. Okay. So there's different modes you can put this in. There's a request reply mode where you actually send off the message and you can receive a reply from the consumer. So this is a very different paradigm than like the publisher subscriber, which is the other one. So this is kind of the publisher will be like sending out messages, and it really won't care about the results. It just has to like spit out a message and like kick off a task or a worker somehow. And the subscriber is sitting there, and those are your workers. So they're pulling messages out of the queue and processing them and doing whatever. So with the request reply, obviously you get a response back from the worker. The pub sub is just crunching all of the tasks that come in, and there's no recourse back to the publisher. And then there's like pipeline and pair mode. There's a bunch in here. Exclusive publisher, router dealer. So there's a bunch of different socket types. If you want to read about them, you can just Google ZMQ socket types, and it's got a handful. So the one we're going to look at is probably the pub sub, and we're definitely going to look at the request reply in some form. It might not be in 0MQ. So we have to find the library. There we go. And the socket type we're going to do, so we'll create a new socket, and it'll be zmq.socket. Let's see, lowercase socket. And here's where we give it the socket type. So we can either do the push pull or the pub sub. And the difference between these two, okay, so was that even listed over there? Let's see. Pipeline. Maybe it's covered under pipeline. Pub sub. There you go. Okay, push pull. So the difference between the push pull and the pub sub, and I actually figured this out yesterday, is the push pull will be a distributed worker. So these are your actual workers. So in the concept of your producer, you're going to be sending off your messages, and then however many workers you have, they will be sitting there consuming messages one by one. So in this case, only one message will get routed to one worker. It won't be all the listeners grab the same message and process it. This is like individual workers. So we'll see what this looks like in a bit. And the pub sub is really just the publisher kind of shoots it out there, and anyone who's listening or subscribed crunches it and receives it. So in the case of workers, you generally want your task processed once, and that's where you use push pull. So that's what we're going to do here. So our producer will be the push, and I'm actually going to rename these. So let's make this push.js, and this will be pull.js. Alright. Okay, so push is going to be the pusher, and the socket will have to bind. I believe that's what it has to do. Yes, bind. And so binding is actually opening up the socket. So we'll see connect is how the worker can connect with it. But when you bind, you're actually creating the socket. So I was Googling around, like, when would you use bind, when would you use subscribe, or connect. Sorry. The bind is generally used on your more stable end of the system. It doesn't actually have a real pronounced effect, but whatever is like actually opening the socket should be more stable than those connecting and listening to the socket, because obviously when you're producing all of these messages, if the socket is open, they can be like crunched up and queued up and wait for workers to pull them, the connect will just direct connect to it and start pulling them off. So they can, basically the concept is the connect can disconnect, reconnect, die, restart, all these other things, and it's okay. There's fault tolerance built in as long as your bind socket is connected. There's a requirement to use a message broker like RabbitMQ to scale up everything up. Very cool. Also learn about Doco, MongoDB. Damn, where do you go to school at? I feel like you might have told me before. Well, that sounds like a really fun class. I did not get to play with those technologies in class at school. That was all like side projects. That's awesome. This is very cool. Okay, so we're going to bind, and we're not going to bind sync because we're going to want this to be distributed. So, let's see. So this will take in the TCP protocol, and we'll say it should open the worker on localhost, and we'll say port like 3001. And this will take a callback function, and then we can just start sending some messages. So I'm going to log out to know that we connected. Push bound, and then let's mimic the example here. So we'll set an interval. So this will happen over a period of time, and we'll do it every second for now. And it will take the socket and it will send a message, and that's it. We just tell it what to send out. So let's do this. Let's say let job equal 0, and then we'll send out sending job. We'll say job, and then we'll job plus plus. Alright, I think that looks cool. So I'm just going to copy this and we'll make the changes we need. Just paste this over here. So this is going to be a pull socket. This is the subscriber. And we don't need this. And we want to connect here. And we'll say pull connected. And then we need a socket.on. And actually, I don't think this one is async. I think I got bit by this yesterday. Or maybe happens async, but there's no callback. So we can say socket.on message. So as a new message comes in the queue, it will, does it just take in message? Yes, it does. And then we can say console.log working on job message.toString. I think that'll work. Alright, let's see. So I'm going to split this up into a couple windows, and we'll start up our push over here, and then we'll start up our pull over here. Boom. So you see, it basically queued up all those jobs that we had before we could process them. And that's it. We have our worker running. Let's start another pull up. So you see this will go back and forth. So this is an actual pull scenario. So, you know, it's processing one job, and it's kind of like offloading the work. Very neat. That's cool. Right, that was easy. It's very few lines of code. I'm actually pretty happy with that one. Alright, let's see what kind of let's see what we can push through here. Let's make it like every 100 milliseconds. Seems to be okay. Alright, let's make it even faster. Whoa! It can totally handle them. Even make that 0. Wow. All right. So that's cool. You can see, and then so if we kill one of these, the other one will just take over processing everything, and we can start it right back up, and it'll just pick up and start splitting them. So you can see how we would scale this, right? You just add more workers. Boom. So now it's split 3 ways. Very cool. All right. So let's see. That was really simple. And again, I don't think there's not much logic behind this, but this is like the primitive of 0MQ. Like, it's very straightforward. It really just binds to these system C calls under the hood. We can actually see exactly what it looks like. There should be some C code in here too. So it's got like the different bytes to do different options. Dash. Bunch of stuff. I'm sure there's a C wrapper in here somewhere actually. Let's see. Windows. Okay. So it's probably not going to be under Windows. Perf? Nope. That's probably performance. Oh, here we go. Binding CC. So this code actually, so if you've never seen how like native node modules work when they use C libraries, they're actually written in C, and they pull in V8 and Node and all this stuff, and they have an interface, and you can define context and classes, and kind of neat. One day we'll have to look at this. I don't know that much C++. I know more C. And I've definitely never written a Node C module. But this gets compiled when you install it. I think we saw it here. Yep, so you see it was installing with NodeJip. That's what NodeJip does, is it helps compile C libraries, and it did the linking and all that stuff. Created an object file. Yeah, at the end of the day, that's what it is. So, alright, that was cool. So let's look at let's just switch these to PubSub and see it'll change. So we'll say this is pub. This is sub. And I think this will just work. Or not. Let's see. What do we got to do to change it? So we did push pull, pub sub. Oh, okay, we got to do channel. Okay. So the publisher has a channel name. Okay, so we have to, let's see. Let's send. The first one is going to be the topic or channel. The topic is going to be work. And we'll send that off. And then here we have to subscribe. So we'll just say socket.subscribe to work. Okay. And now this will actually take in the topic and the message. And that's it. So now this should be okay. Let's see. There we go. And so you'll see when we start this other one up here. Oop, that's 2 pushers. They both get the same jobs. So you can see where you'd want to use the push-pull versus pub-sub. This is more if you're like sending off maybe data in like a fault-tolerant way. You want backup workers, or maybe these could race to see who can do the job first, and there's a bunch of different ways you do this. This pub-sub model is very straightforward. You can have as many publishers, and I think you'd have many publishers as well. So let's see if we can split this up. Let's see. Maybe we have to change it to Maybe we have to change this to connect. Maybe not. Maybe need a router in the middle. I know there's definitely a way to do it where you can have multiple publishers. Oh wait, we're not. No, we are sending a channel. I'm not sure. There's definitely a way to do it. We can worry about that one later. But yeah, very cool. Okay. So let's move on to the next one. That was cool. I like when things are really easy to set up. Definitely makes you feel good. Alright. Okay, so that was 0MQ, and that was really straightforward to use. So let's see, what are we going to use next? Seems so much simpler and more straightforward to set up compared to RabbitMQ. Yeah, the string called work is basically like a queue. Exactly, it's a topic. Or channel, whatever you want to call it. I think they're called topics in RabbitMQ as well. And yeah, that's it. Very simple and straightforward. That's why I was asking if you had to use RabbitMQ, because it's probably a good use case for 0MQ if you're doing something simple. Alright, so let's do what's next. Let's look at... So I want to play with BQ later. This one is this is a good concept for doing request and reply built on top of Redis. So actually, let's do RabbitMQ next. So we'll use AMQP. AMQP is the Advanced Messaging Queue Protocol, which is basically what RabbitMQ does. It's a standard. So RabbitMQ implements AMQP. And so let's do this. npm install AMQP lib. AMQP test. Alright, so we'll do this again with npm init. And then we'll install AMQP lib. Actually, we'll tell it to save it. Alright. And so, let's make sure RabbitMQ is running if it's not. Okay, so I got Redis started. So let's stop Redis for now. And let's start RabbitMQ. And this is just like before. You'd install RabbitMQ if you're going to use this somewhere. I did it through Brew. You can use like distributed RabbitMQ. But this is an actual process that is started somewhere. And we can actually see, let's see, does it tell you what port it runs on? So there's an admin interface, I believe. Oh, and RabbitMQ is written in Erlang, which makes it even faster. There we go. So this is the admin management thing that gets loaded. I don't know what the default credentials are. Let's see. What are the default credentials? Guest. Yes. All right. Admin. Oh, does admin work too? No, it doesn't like that one. Guest. And we can create new users. Default is guest. All right, cool. Click on admin tab. So here we can see we got nothing in the queue. So this is like no, it's all good. Get on the queue, but this is obviously much more of a process and much more of a tool than we had before, right? So we actually have management, we have all these other things. 0MQ is really just, like I said, it's C libraries at the end of the day. It uses the operating system sockets to offload all that work. So let's do the same thing. MQ. So this is the raw AMQP library. It definitely looks like it's raw. There's a lot to it, right? So Jackrabbit is another library for it. RabbitMQ in Node without hating life. I love it already. All right, let's try this one, and then maybe we can look. I don't know if we'll need to use all the abstractions under the covers. So let's install Jackrabbit. Jackrabbit, and I believe this uses lib AMQP. Yeah, based on AMQP lib under the covers. So this is using the same thing we just installed. So there it is. All right. So let's do our producer. Consumer. And that's it. We just connected a default queue, publish something on a key. So I think key is the topic. That's probably what that means. They really just abstract everything from you here. If you want more flexibility, check out Wascally. Oh, that's awesome. That's such a great library name. Wascally Rabbit. Alright. That's clever, man. People on the internet are so funny. So I'm going to grab Jackrabbit. Jackrabbit equals require Jackrabbit. There's an example folder, thank goodness. And this is actually made by someone at Heroku, I believe. Double check. Yes, this guy works for Heroku. Very cool. Thank you, Hunter. Alright, so work queues, pub sub, routing, topics. It's got it all. Okay, so key is how you... Oh no. Oh no, we say the default topic. So I guess you can route even further on this one. So when we connect to default, that's just connecting to a default topic. That's what this thing's doing. And the key must be like the key for the queue. I'm definitely no expert on this. Work queues, publisher. Change.queue. This abstracts really a lot from you. I don't even know what the difference is between any of these keys. Alright, so let's just... Ugh, excuse me. Let's copy this example for now. So we'll say grab rabbit, and so we'll say exchange equals rabbit.default. So that'll give us the default topic. And then we can get a different queue from an exchange. Exchange.queue. Okay, and what does the producer look like? Alright, so we can say that const queue equals exchange.queue, and we'll give it a name of work. Flanagan. I hope I said that right. Thank you very much for following. Very cool. What kind of, are you a software developer? What kind of work do you like to do? If so. So this is strange. So he creates hello here, but doesn't actually use it anywhere. So I don't actually know if we need that. This is very much lacking in documentation. It's not really living up to its tagline. I'm kind of hating life right now. Publish. Task queue. I'm not sure what that does. Oh, maybe he just copy pasted it. Maybe you need it from here. Alright, so let's do this instead. So we won't do that for now. So we will say exchange.publish. Right, is that what it was? I think he might have just copy pasted it a few times. Publish. Let's do the same thing. Let's say set interval. And we'll do it every second, and we'll say let job equal 0. Publish job. I don't know what this key is for actually, so we'll use work. And then we'll increment job, so we'll just get a bunch of them. Alright. And so now let's look at the receiver. Okay, so we gotta grab the actual queue. So const work queue equals exchange.queueue. Name is work. And then we want to consume this will take in message. And let's just log that out to see if it works. Alright. Well, we're going to see if we did this right. So node producer. Oh, Jesus. Default is not a function. Are you sure? Because it says it is. Okay. Oh, looks like I have to connect first. Oh, I think I did it wrong. Let's see. Okay, I did do it wrong. Okay, so we have to actually grab Jackrabbit, and then we have to create Rabbit, which will equal an instance of Jackrabbit that will give the URL of our RabbitMQ instance, which I'm assuming it'll use localhost for default. So let's see if it does. URL required. Alright. So it does not. RabbitMQ port. Five, 6, 7, 2. Okay. So let's tell it to connect to localhost 5672. We're gonna need the same thing here. Alright, let's try that. Nope. Okay, so it wants AMQP as the protocol. So AMQP : // Hooray! That looks like it worked. Very cool. You're just getting back into development. You love JavaScript, trying to get my chops back after burning out. Ooh, that must have been a nice break. Definitely use a break from programming. I don't know if I could do 5 years, but damn, that's awesome. What did you do for those 5 years, if you don't mind sharing? I'm curious. I know some people have like quit programming and been a farmer for a while, which is really cool. Key appears to be the queue name you bind on. Okay, that might make sense. I'm sure we'll figure it out more in a second. Alright, so let's say AMQP. Kind of sad it doesn't use that by default, but it's okay. I asked for too much, Eddie. Oh, pissed off. Consume is not a function. Because we want to use the work queue to consume. Up. We got one. Look at job 58. Lucky 58. Alright. Got 5 channels open. Holy shit. What are these 5 channels? This is our publisher. Looks like it assigns them different ports. That's kind of cool. You probably ask what port you can connect on. You just finished the header of a streamer's website. Oh, very cool. Thanks for hanging out with us again. You're doing all kinds of fun programming projects. That's awesome. We're working on some Q stuff today. It's going pretty well, I think. Once we can figure out this library. You grew up in construction, went back to that. Missed it a lot. Wow. Too much work. Oh, that's really cool, actually. Very nice. Well, welcome back to programming. I'm glad you enjoyed your break. I'm sure it definitely was a lot of work doing construction. They have... My street is like completely torn open. They have these giant pipes. I guess they're putting in a new water main or something. It's ridiculous. There's been like construction outside my apartment like since last week. Alright. So I'm not sure why we only got one message. It's the same message. Alright. Maybe we have to ACK it? Is there some kind of ACK? When I say ACK, it means acknowledge. So acknowledge that we got the message. Durable true. Ah, yes, very much. You like building physical things and software. Very cool. Very clean. Durable true. Okay, ACK. Okay, so you get ACK as the second parameter. Okay, perfect. So we should get ACK, and then we can ACK. Alright, let's try that again. Whoa! Alright, look at that. So unlike we had with 0MQ, why did it start at 50 though? That's so strange. Maybe it only kept 50 of them around? No, that doesn't make sense. I have no idea. I must have done something wrong. Okay, but the cool thing about RabbitMQ is that this ACK, right? We didn't have this before. We were just kind of like praying that the message got processed, I guess, at the end of the day. But with RabbitMQ, you actually can acknowledge that you got a message. So you can acknowledge that the work was done, and if it wasn't done, it'll re-queue it. I wonder if you can do that with 0MQ. Now I'm curious. Doesn't look like it. On connect. There's a bunch of events we can listen to. It doesn't look like we can acknowledge. Oops. Of course, TJ is in here. If you don't know, TJ Hollowaychuk was an incredible JavaScript. He's an incredible developer in general. He recently left the JavaScript world to go work on Go, but he is responsible for like 90% of the popular Node libraries. He like wrote Express and all these other things, so he's a G. RPC. Dealer. Reply. Workers. Yeah, there's no. I guess there's no ACK. Okay, well, cool. That's a benefit of RabbitMQ. Then you can be very sure that you get your messages. And if we come back here, we can actually see this. We can fill up the queue. And we'll see it skyrocket over here. Just gonna put all these tasks that need to get worked on. Exchanges. So I'm not sure what the difference is between an exchange, a channel, queue. Okay, so the queue is work. Okay. And so what is the exchange? Okay, so exchanges are different types. So this is the topic we were doing. All right. Okay, that makes sense. Channels. Yep. Queues. Visualizer. Very happy with how the JavaScript landscape has changed during your time away. Yeah. I have only been doing JavaScript for 4 or 5 years, actually. A lot less time than you have. I've definitely seen it change in when I've been doing it, which is interesting. We've moved away from things like jQuery for the most part. We use like vanilla stuff, and support has just skyrocketed. There's a lot more support out of the box for things. All right, watch this. So we got a bunch of things queued up. We're gonna fire up our consumer. It's gonna process and ACK all of those, and now it's slowed down. So now it's actually caught up in real time. And we should see this drop down. All right, that's neat. Okay. So there we go. That's RabbitMQ for us. I wonder if you can do a reply with RabbitMQ. I guess not, because you have to keep it open. Oh, okay. Now, why am I looking here? I should be looking in this. I think they had a request reply example. WWDC was pretty neat. It was I think my biggest takeaway was Apple was like clearly giving the message that like, hey, we want to support developers. Look at all of these APIs we're finally opening up, like Siri and iMessage and Maps. And I can't believe it took them this long to open the Siri API. Like, it was kind of, I think it's really late for that. But maybe one day I'll learn some iOS stuff. I don't know. I usually do more Java and Android. But it was a really cool announcement. There's a lot of neat things coming for iMessage. I really hope it comes to Android. I miss my iPhone every now and then. Publisher. So right now I'm just looking to see if we can do any kind of request reply or if they have an example in here. I'm sure there's some kind of way to do it. RPC, right? That's what it was. Client reply. On reply. There you go. Nice. So there's all these keys we can throw at this stuff too. Prefetch, durable. Okay. Well, we can ignore them for now. We can just do this. Alright, so that's cool. So that's RabbitMQ for us. And it's definitely, we can see it's like way more. We probably should have saved this one for last. This is definitely like the most feature-packed queue. It's got this admin interface by default and all this crazy stuff and this acknowledgement. And yeah, so RabbitMQ is like, you know, your full Swiss Army knife. It's got everything for your background workers and message passage. And the last one I want to look at is the Redis queue. And then I actually want to build something fun that does background processing. So maybe we'll do some image work or other stuff. I wonder if ZeroMQ supports regexes. So ZeroMQ, I think you can do that. I saw it in here. So when you actually do the pub sub for when you have a topic, right? So this was your topic and this was the message for the topic, and so then when you subscribe in here, I wonder what happens if you don't subscribe to the topic and you just do an on message, because you get a topic here, or you can subscribe to multiples. So well, if you can receive without subscribing, then I guess you could check a regex in here if you get the actual topic on the message. So it's really if this is required or not, but that's good thinking. Alright, let's move on to the next one. So let's look at a Redis back queue. Redis test. Okay. So Redis, like I said, it's this awesome... Redis itself is a Swiss Army knife. You can use it for everything. It's so powerful and fast and smart. So it's an in-memory data store that can be backed persistently on disk, distributed, clustered... But the big thing about Redis is that it is brew services. Let's start Redis back up. The cool thing about Redis is that it is single-threaded, but it's very its data structures are what make it really cool. So there's a bunch of different data structures that we can get. Or data types, data structures. So if you want to learn more, you should read these. And it's kind of crazy how they're implemented too. Very ludicrous. Hashes, sorted sets, bitmaps, hyperlog logs. I don't even know what a hyperlog log is. I've heard the term before. Hyperlog log is an algorithm for the count distinct problem. Oh, there you go. Very cool. Maybe one day we'll play with hyperlog logs. You know, the guy who like named it was like, this is what it is, but I can't think of anything more clever, so I'm just gonna call it a log. Can you have like a hyperlog log? A hyperlog log? log. Okay, so the data types, right? So you have lists, strings, basically all these things. So we can set like foo to be bar, and then we can get bar. Get foo. And then you can expire foo. Or delete foo. And you can set foo bar, and it should expire in 3 seconds. And get foo. Oh, it already expired. Anyway, so you can play with Redis. There's a great book right on the Redis website. It's all free. Alright. Very cool. Alright, so Redis it's really just this like in-memory data store, and it's super fast. And people have built queues on top of it. So that's what we're going to look at. We're going to look at one of the queues, one or two of the queues that are built with it. Queue is a popular one. It definitely seems like super supported and feature packed. It's made by Automatic, which makes a bunch of node packages. So it's got all these features. And the other one I was really looking at was like BQ. It's got a cute little logo. But this one is, the introduction really stood out to me when I was reading it. So it says, BQ is meant to power a distributed worker pool. It was built with short, real-time jobs in mind. A web server can enqueue a job, wait for a worker to process to complete it, and return its result within an HTTP request. Scaling is as simple as running more workers. So these are other ones. So Celery is very popular with Python world. Rescue, that's very popular with the Ruby world. Q is the one we just looked at. Bull is another one. Bull seemed like very overkill. I don't even want to touch it. It's got like all these wild processing things, and you can do progress and excuse me. Definitely more than we need right now. And this one seems to be very fast, according to the benchmarks. BQ is hella quick. So, let's see. How do we do this? You can do retries right in here. So I really like this one. And when you were playing with Redis, is that command? Yeah, so that was all built in. That's just Redis, at least on Mac when you install it, it comes with Redis CLI. And all of those auto completions were built in. I thought that was really neat too. Yeah, very cool. So let's check out retries. 2. So I guess you really like tailor these to your needs. So we're obviously not doing like mission critical processing. We're just playing with it. Alright, let's get it working. Let's get either BQ or Q working. Oh, they do progress here too. Back off. Attempts 3. Well, let's try Q because it's definitely the more popular one. So let's do init that npm. Install all the packages. That was a lot of packages to install. Holy crap. It's got Express built in? What the hell? It's got everything. Does it have like a management interface? It's gotta. Oh yeah. It's got a management interface. So there you go. This is very, kind It's very similar to like RabbitMQ's overall package. That's cool. Alright, so let's pull it in. So let's say pub is require queue. Queue dot create queue. And then we'll do another set interval. And then we'll take our queue and we'll create a job. Looks like these are the same thing. We'll use create job. And I guess this is the key of the job, type of job. So we'll just call this work for now. And then this is the message data that we send over. So job equals 0. So job. And let's see. I don't know. We'll just say like foobar in here so we can see it come over. Okay. And so what is save? So I want to say save will be kind of like catching errors maybe. So like save shit something went wrong. Let's see if it tells us. Return a job which can then be saved, adding it to Redis with a default. The save method optionally accepts a callback. Oh, I guess you have to call save on it. Alright. Well, let's say save, and this will give us an error. So if error, we will throw that error. Actually, no, let's just log it. Okay. Does that start up? Looks like it do. Okay. Very cool. And so we got pub. Let's create sub. So how do we process jobs? Creating jobs. Processing jobs. Okay, same way. So queue. Process. And we said it was a work job. And then, so this will give us the job, and then a done. So let's log out the job and then call done. Alright, so firing up 2 of them. Oh my god! Okay, so we want to grab data out of the job. Alright, let's try that again without all the spam. Oh, I forgot the ++. Job ++. Alright, very cool. That's strange. It didn't reconnect. Still like spitting out the old jobs. Did I called done. Save it. That's strange. Yes, that is Vim. I'm a big Vim fan. I have a Vim t-shirt even. It's a very nice Vim t-shirt. Maybe I'll go get it and show you later. Maybe we put it here. Maybe the save doesn't actually get called. Let's look into actual Redis instance. So I'm going to use the keys command and then the pattern. So I just want to get all the keys. Oh my gosh. There are so many. Oh, and I also didn't give it a second. No wonder we're producing so many. Oh goodness. Well, we can see how it stores it. So we can say get queue job 35993. Is it processing that quickly? Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, I must have, okay. So I must have just created a billion jobs by letting it run without a bound on there. Now it seems to be doing okay. Hopefully it gets through all of that. What's the memory limit on a Redis instance? That I don't know. How long have you been using Vim to be so fast? I've been using Vim for a long time. Since I was in school. So, probably like 6 years. It's, I don't know. I learn stuff every day, but I've definitely hit a plateau on speed. And I type with like 3 fingers. I don't type with my whole hand. I never learned to type properly. But it really just becomes second nature to you after you use it for a while. Once you like learn the flows, like before I did, so you see the string here. So I want to change that to use backticks instead of the single quotes so I can do string interpolation on it. So I come in here and you kind of just like memorize the commands because they all turn to words at the end of the day. So I want to change the surrounding single quotes to backtick. So the commands to do that is going to be C for change, S for surrounding, single quote, and then to backtick, right? So in my head, I know I'm like, okay, I want to change the surrounding single quotes to backticks. So when I come here and I do that, change surrounding single quote to backticks, it just changes them. And that's a plugin, but that's like a Vim motion. So once you like learn those, you really just like really quick. Once you learn the basics, so just like I can change inside the single quotes here. CI quotes, so CI quote, and it just deletes what's inside there and lets you type inside the quotes. So, a big fan of Vim. Okay, all right, so cool. All right, so that solved our problem, right? So we figured out what went wrong. I screwed up and I didn't give the set interval. I have no idea what is the Redis memory instance by default. Now I'm curious. Those jobs were just bytes though, right? Like kilobytes of text, not even kilobytes, just bytes. I'm sure it's in here somewhere. But now we know. Now we know why it was giving us a bunch of zeros. Alright. Okay, so I want to see what's actually in this key. Oh, there's still keys. I guess the jobs are done. I guess it doesn't delete the jobs after it processes them. Holy crap. Wrong operation against a key holding the wrong kind of value. So this is a type. How do I get the... Can I explode? List keys in Redis hash. Jerdfing! Thank you very much for the follow. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. Okay, hgetall. Hgetall. Ooh. Okay, so let's clear this. Let's see what's in that. Alright, so here's everything that's in that actual job. So I was wrong. It's more than just bytes. There's quite a few characters in here. I thought it was just a string. Okay, so max attempts. Type created at data. It's just a serialized, a stringified JSON. State complete. Queue. Oh wow, it's really got everything in here. Okay. Drop all keys Redis. How do we drop everything? Flush all. I'm sorry, process. I'm gonna kill you now. Alright, so that was cool. We learned a lot about that little project there. Okay. So I definitely like Q. That was cool. I liked all of them, really. There's definitely a place we'd use each one, right? Obviously, 0MQ is super lightweight and fast, so we can use that where we need it. AMQP, the RabbitMQ instance, it's just super, like, fast and performant. And it's got all those management options. I gotta blow my nose, sorry. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, so those are the three options. There's definitely more out there, and there's definitely more libraries for Redis. Obviously, BQ was the other one. I don't even think we looked at these examples. Video. Oh, video conversion. Very cool. Oh, here's how you turn on the, here's how you turn on the server. Alright, let's try that. Actually, I want to see what that looks like, so let's do that. So let's npm install express. And then let's grab an instance of that, so express. And then it tells us to, I'm just going to paste this in. Very cool. Oh, pissed. Basic alt is not a function. Okay, well, we'll just cut that out. I think that was built into Express before. Let's see what that admin interface looks like. Very cool. Alright, so it's got this admin interface. Alright, there you go. In case you need it or something. Probably wouldn't use this in production. Alright, maybe you would, I don't know. It's a good way to get like a little view inside what you're doing. But if you want an admin interface, I would just use RabbitMQ. It gives you all that management stuff. Okay. So, what are we going to build? Very bare bones, yeah. Super bare bones. Okay, so, let's actually build something using one of these. Let's see. Let's do a... I don't know. If anyone has any ideas on what kind of stuff we can do, drop it into chat. Otherwise, I think I'm going to do a... I was playing with ImageMagick, and if you don't know what ImageMagick is, it's just image processing library that's just really like established everywhere. They had a big security vulnerability recently. They called it Image Tragic, ha ha ha. But ImageMagick lets you convert images, and it's like a C library, and it's got a bunch of bindings. And it's really straightforward. So I'm gonna grab it real quick. Let's play with this. Let's say image project. And you can install ImageMagick just like before. It's just C, so I'm sure I have it in here. ImageMagick. It's got everything. So if you want to do image processing on your server, you okay, buddy? My dog's making sounds. If you want to do image processing on your server, generally you can use ImageMagick. There's a bunch of like libraries out there that will use it as bindings. I know the Rails world was big on ImageMagick bindings. Not really the JavaScript world from what it seems. It's actually hard to find a library. This is the one I found that has the most support, and it's last update was 2014. There's another one that was updated this year, but it doesn't have as many features. It's more of a native library, so it has those C bindings written. This kind of just like execs out into ImageMagick processes. There's like tons of execs in here, child process. So we'll use this for now. And generally image processing, right? So that is going to be something CPU intensive. So that's not something you're going to want to do on your main thread. Even though if you exec it out as async, you're really like, you want to offload that stuff. So let's just see what an example looks like. So let's just find a picture. I don't know, who do we want to use for an example? Let's use Madonna. Everyone likes Madonna. That's a nice picture. How can he not like Madonna? Alright, I'm going to download that. Change the name. Alright, so how ImageMagick works is it's really just a command line tool. Unless you use like the C bindings for it. Resources. Command line. Maybe. There you go, convert. So you can do a bunch of stuff. You can create images. So this image is actually generated by pasting this command in. So it just draws some rectangles and some text, and it will spit you out this image. So you can see this is like a super, powerful image processing library. I think most platform as a service hosting providers, so like Heroku, even AWS Lambda has these libraries available to you. So if you want to use with Heroku or something, they already have the libraries and the C headers and everything installed. How you doing, buddy? My dog came over to say hi. He says hi, everyone. So let's convert something. So let's say we got this picture of Madonna. So we're going to convert, tmux it. So there's all these flags we can throw at it. Docs are very detailed. There's a ton in here. But let's convert it to black and white for now. So I know what that command is. So convert Madonna set color space gray, and then give it the out file. Looks like that worked. There we go. Right, so Image Magic took it. It didn't take that long, obviously, but it bound up the process while it was running. And cool. So we can do some other stuff too, right? So now we have that. We can convert border color sky blue. We can toss a border on there. That's like a 10 by 10 border. Say like out2.jpg. There you go. And we got a little border on there, right? So you see, we can hipster stuff. We can do a bunch of image processing. There's a really cool service. I think it's called like ImageX. ImageX? Oh, ImageX. There you go. I actually think it's a really cool idea. So they do all these processings under the hood. They might even use Image Magic for all we know. But you can configure it with a URL request. So you basically say what you want in the URL and give it where it can find the photo. You give it like the photo or upload it or whatever. And you can pass all these flags in here and it'll load up that photo. So I think this is a really cool idea. Maybe we should try to make something like this. We're going to try to make our own ImageX. Alright, so let's see what we can do. But we're going to need a web server. So we're going to need Express. We're going to need body parser. We're going to need Multer. That's not one we've used before. Multer has for multipart, which is what image uploads are going to be for the HTTP type. So that's how we're going to handle receiving images into our server. What else? Multer. Well, we need Image Magic for Node. And then we'll figure out which queue we're going to use later. I kind of like Q. I liked all of them. They're all really nice. We're going to need to be able to reply, I think. We'll have so my idea is that we're going to make ImageX, which means that we're going to take in a photo or a URL to a photo. We're going to run it through Image Magic. And then we're going to send that back. So we'll have to keep the request open while it's processing the image, but we should really offload that into a background task. So we'll keep the HTTP request open. So kind of like what I was reading about BQ, how they showed it. Right, so let's just start writing some code, and we'll worry about the details later. So let's create a simple web server. We already did some Express earlier. pull and express. What else do we need? We need body parser. I should really make my own like boilerplate framework. I do the same stuff all the time. Multer. So create an app equals express. And then what do we need? We need to start up our server on 3000. And we want a get request made to the home page. We're gonna take in a request and a response, and we're gonna send back on that response just hello to make sure things work. So if we localhost, we get hello, perfect. Everything's grand. Okay. So let's work with uploading a photo first. So we're gonna want to send back a file. And we'll need path. So we're gonna say path.join the directory name, and then we'll do like index.html. So let's just create a simple HTML element, HTML page with a form. It will be, where's it going? It's going to upload method. It's going to be post, and then we need an input of type file, and then input type submit. All right, let's see what that looks like. If I'm going too quick, or if you have questions, let me know. Just simple stuff, but I'm happy to explain and talk about it if you haven't done this before. Okay, so there we go. We got our nice little upload thing, and we can choose a file. So let's grab Madonna, and then when it uploads, it needs to post it somewhere. So okay, so let's see. How do we use Multer? So we give it a destination on where it should upload photos. Any form which is not form multipart. Okay. So Multer adds a body object and a file or files object to the request. The body object contains the values of the text fields. Okay. So that means that we need a name. So we'll add a name on there, so it's just photo. And so we configure it with a destination. Each file contains the following information: Multer options, destination or storage. Only dest might be required and configured. Um, what do they call it? Upload? Okay, so let's say upload will be molter, and we have to give it the dest, and I don't know, let's just say we'll have a folder called uploads for now. Let's be explicit. So we'll say path and we'll join on dir name and then uploads. And let's make that directory real quick. Make dir uploads. Okay, perfect. And so then on app.post, what do we say it was? Upload, right? Upload. It needs to use upload, and then what is the array? No, we only want a single, so and then we give it the name of the thing coming in. So upload dot single, and it's going to be photo. I believe we named it. Yes, photo. Perfect. All right. And so that will generate a middleware function that it will call. That's why it's like configured in the middle of our route. And so we should be able to, let's log out request.file. And I don't know what's going to be in there, but we're going to find out. All right, here we go. Hit this. Choose Madonna. Submit. Okay, we got back undefined. Well, it didn't crash, which is good. Why did it not crash? Do we have anything in the folder? No. Let's try it again. Let's see what the request looks like. So there's our upload. Oh, it sent it as form URL encoded. We don't want it as form URL encoded. Here's an example in here. That's your own storage engine. That's strange. Why is it... let's see. Upload image HTML. Type equals file. I guess maybe it's not going to upload it as for multipart. Well, let's see what this does. Extended, so I'm going to use body parser instead. Oh, and we should print out the body. See what that looks like. Okay, one last time. Photo. Madonna.jpg. Well, that was the name of the photo. What am I doing wrong? Type. Ah, very smart. I didn't think I'd have to set that though. Alright. Let's see. You're a genius. Let's see. Ah, look at that. Look at that. You're no kidding. You're pretty badass. Welcome back to the world of programming. Thanks for saving the day. I'm surprised I had to do that though. I didn't think you had to. Or do you just always have to do that? Upload file, HTML, input. I thought setting type to file would do that. I guess not. Nope, he does it here. Okay. Well, there you go. Thank you very much, my friend. It's yeah, we all hate the whiteboarding. We all hate the whiteboarding. I gotta look at an old example I did with some buddies. Hold on one second. I gotta make sure I put this here. If not, I'm gonna pull out hair and be like, what the shit? Yep, okay, very cool. I'm just a bobo. Alright, thank you very much. Nice save of the day. Very cool. Alright. Okay, so cool. We have the file uploaded, right? And so now it should live inside uploads. There it is. Except there's no extension there. Why did it do that? And then give us... Damn it. Original name. So it knows that it's it knows that it's a regular photo. It knows... Wait, hold on. So it knows that it's a... photo. It knows the original file name, but it didn't generate the damn extension. What the? Hold on. Let's see if we can get the extension on there too. Multer will not append any file extensions for you. Your function should return a file name complete with a file extension. File name is used to determine what the file should be named inside the folder. If no file name, each file will be given a random name that doesn't include any file extension. Alright. Well, there you go. Just do it yourself. Screw you. So how are you supposed to... How are you supposed to know what if there's multiple types that come in? Like, how are you supposed to determine and set extensions on there? Right, because there's more than one type of photo, so you have to rename it yourself? That's stupid. Alright, well, here's what we'll do. Our background worker will take whatever garbage name it names it, and then it'll rename it, and then it'll pass it through and do all the other shit. So, okay. So there we go. So we're uploading files. And I guess we should open it to make sure it worked. Okay, very cool. Habe, thank you very much for hanging out with us again. How you doing? And working on anything cool new? Okay. So, all right, let's just write a background worker. So let's say worker.js. And which of these do we want to use? I don't know. Which did you all feel that we're here to see all three of them compared? Which ones did you like or think was the easiest to work with? We didn't do BQ. Q is pretty simple. What does a reply look like in Q? Workers can also pass job results as a second parameter to done, to store that in the job result key. Result is also passed through complete. Oh, okay. So that means that we should be able to. Can't do anything. Oh, I'm sure you can do cool stuff. What's your favorite programming language so far? The ones that you've played with. You like some JavaScript? You like some other stuff? Okay, so job events. Complete. Alright. Alright, let's try this. So npm install save q. Python's cool. Very nice choice. I don't do much Python myself, but I can kick the tires around a little bit. Very cool. Well, welcome to the fun world of building cool things. I hope you stick around and learn a shit ton. So, alright, let's do this. So we got our queue installed. Now we got to create it up here. So let's say queue equals require queue. And what did our old example look like? I'm just going to pull up the project we just played with queue. All right. So queue equals create queue. And then just job create job. All right. Oh. So queue equals create queue. And where was it? Was it here? No, I think it was here. Where did we have the server running? Oh, up here. Okay, so we need to pull out the original file name. We need to grab the extension and then the actual file name. Or we might as well give it the full path. Alright, let's see. So we're going to say job equals queue.create job. And this will be a photo job. We'll take an object. And we'll say that it should... Oh, let's see. I'm uncomfortable in this chair if you can't tell. We need the file name. What else did we need? Original file name. File name, original name. Okay, so file name, original name, and the destination. I'm doing it this way. We could probably just grab the path, but I'm worried about the splitting and escaping and worrying about any of that stuff. I think that the path node module will let you like split a string and get the right bits you want out. We'll see. If you get accepted for education, you'll do web dev. Very cool. Well, I very much hope you get accepted. Otherwise, there's tons of free resources on the internet where you can still learn to be an awesome developer. Plenty of free stuff out there. And you got an awesome community to ask questions to, so building cool stuff is fun. Alright, so we got our file name, original name, and destination. So I'm just going to pass these along. And if you're not familiar with this syntax, especially if you've recently come back to JavaScript and programming, this is file destructuring. It's very neat. We know that file has a bunch of keys under it, so we can actually declare variables here, and then the keys will be pulled out and assigned to those variables from the file key. And then here we're doing, this is like concise naming. It's part of the newer JavaScript features. So if the file name, if the variable name and the key name are the same, you can just omit doing this and just give it the single. So it's very neat and easy to use. You have a small idea. How difficult would this be? A green Chrome window for chroma key. Upon Twitch chat command, a video will be played that I have on PC, or better yet in the cloud, and then back to green window. So you want to go from green to playing a video to back to green. That's a fun little project. You could totally do that. You got to use some WebSockets maybe, and that's kind of how like the follower alerts work. So this is like the follower alert box I have, and this is that chroma key, and when someone does a follow, it will trigger it and it'll show up on here, and it's all done with WebSockets, I believe. So this is just like sitting listening for a connection from it's automatic. It's connected to the server, and it's just listening for new data that comes through, and they send over like the person's name or whatever, and it'll just show the person's name in the right font, and it's neat. Yeah. Video instead. Yeah, you can totally do that. You could just trigger it to show the video and play it. It'd be the same concept. It's really neat. You should do it. Cool idea. Fun little way to learn a bunch of different things about servers on the web. Alright, so we got our job. And we got to tell it to save it, and that might give us an error, so we should check if there's an error, and then we should console error the error. Boom. Okay. And so if this is complete, what do? We want to take the job and tell it we want to listen for the complete event. So on complete. And what do we say that gets stuck to? Is it result? Yeah, on complete, it'll give us the result. Looks like my JavaScript plugin is screwed up. Let me change this real quick. Bundle. Alright, let's hope that fixes it. Ooh. Alright, so we got our index file. I can't win today. Check out. Alright, well, we'll just use the old one. Sorry about this. Ooh. Oh gosh, I did something terribly wrong. What did I do? Okay, I think I fixed it. Nice. Alright. Let's try this again. Maybe this stuff will work. If not, I'm just gonna have to skip indenting. Okay, so alright, we got this bit. So we create a job, we get the job, we tell it on complete, we're gonna get a result. So we're going to need the file module, so let's grab that. Const fs equals require fs, and then we're going to tell it that we want to read file. Let's see, fs read file. And I just want to pipe this to the browser. So let's see, read file. The callback takes in data. Data is the contents of the file. So it is going to be a buffer. Read file stream to express. Let's see. Create write stream, create read stream. Okay, so we should be able to create a read stream and then pipe that into the response. So let's see. Create read stream from the result, and then we can pipe that into the response. And hopefully that works. We'll find out if it doesn't. Alright, so that's enough of this. So now it's time to build our worker. Alright, so let's do that. So we called it worker.js. Q equals require Q. And we said const Q equals Q.createQ. And now we just tell it to process on photo. Except it did not paste right. Okay. So Q.process photo. And what does that give us? That gives us job and done. So job. And let's see. Well, we want to pull out those key names. So let's do this. Job.data, yes, data. And for now, well, we might as well pull it in. All right, so let's grab ImageMagick. And we want to convert, which will take an array. Okay. So, well, we also need to, so const file extension equals file name dot split on the period, and we want to grab the extension. So that'll be that. Yeah, there's probably a better way to do that, but that's what we'll do. And so to convert, we have to, well, let's just do grayscale for now. So we said grayscale was file name. Oh, no, we don't want border. This one. So file name, set, and then out. Okay, so this will be file name. Set. And so this is how you pass it to the library. I know this because I read the docs. Boom. Okay. So we want to convert the file name let's grab path. Path equals require path. So we'll say path.join on the destination. And sorry, we don't split here. We split on the original name. So destination and the file name. Okay, I think that's okay. And then it will set color space to gray, and then out should be, let's see. It should be path dot join destination file name dot file extension. And I think that's cool. And so what does ImageMagick give us? I think it gives us an error. Convert. Error. Okay, so we don't need the error, so we should take it anyway. So we take an error, and we should call done. Actually, let's do this here. So const out file name equals file name dot file extension. So here we can just say out file name. Very cool. And this should be out file path will be path.join destination. Actually, let's make a new folder for that. So we'll create a new folder. It'll be makedir processed. Path.join destination and out file name. Oh, but it's not destination. Ah, shit. Alright, we'll just do this for now. I'll worry about building it later. This should be out file path. Okay, sorry if I've lost you. We'll get this done. Oh, I forgot something somewhere. Oh, I gotta close the array. Okay. And so, done. So if there's an error, we should call it with the error. Otherwise, we should call it with the out file path. Boom. Okay. Ugh. Alright, let me catch up on chat. Tons of free. Yeah, check out. Great thing. Free Code Camp is awesome. That's ridiculous, the number of people. Original file.split.pop will avoid issues with extra dots in the file name. I still need to grab the one though, right? Or no? I'm confused. So if we say split on dot, and then you're saying say pop on it? Oh, you're good. You're good. Wow. That's smart. That's really clever. Gosh, welcome back to programming. It's great that you're back. Do I use Babel? I do use Babel, but not for this project. I use Babel when I do a lot of React stuff. Okay. Nice. No, you're smart. That was a smart one. Alright, so I think this will work. We're about to find out or it's going to explode. Alright, here we go. We're just going to do it. So we got to start up our server. We got to start up our worker. I'm going to go upload a photo. Ooh. Let's find that nice picture of Madonna. Click submit. Ah, it works! Ah. Oh, it feels so good when shit works the first time. You want to celebrate too? Mr. Doggo is very excited. You want to say hi to the nice people? Yeah? He's a good boy? Okay. Good boy. Good boy. Okay. Alright. Whew. Oh man, that feels so good when shit just works the first time. Oh. Alright, so that's cool. Alright, so let's run through the code so everyone knows what we did. I'm feeling really good right now. And then I'm gonna hit a bug in like an hour or two doing something else, and then I'll feel like a scrub. So we gotta soak up this awesome moment. Great job, team. It was a great team effort. Alright, so basically what we have doing is we have this awesome little file upload. And we're doing some image processing on it, right? So image processing takes some resources, it takes some time. We have to exec out to another process, and it can be difficult. It can, if we're doing something that will take a long time, we're gonna block the main thread. If it's CPU bound, it won't be doing any work. So what we're doing is we are offloading that to a worker process. So as I upload this photo, it gets sent to my web server. My web server saves that to a file on the disk, and then it hands off where that file lives and some other information to a worker process that's kind of sitting on a message queue and pulling off data, right? And then it does what you've just seen. It takes the file, it does this like image magic conversion where it sets the color to gray and spits it out. And then it sends it back to the browser. And then the browser reads that file, creates a stream, and then it just kind of pipes that right into the response, and then it just sends it back because it knows the file type and extension, so it's able to send all that bits out. And I feel really good. That was so cool. So there we go. There we got our nice Madonna. All right, so let's add some customization to this server. So we want it to be like Imagix, where we can kind of like tack on things. We can tack on what kind of conversions we want done. So let's see. Well, we're gonna need a get route now, so we'll do get convert. And so this will const photo. So this will pull the photo out of the query. So it's basically gonna look like this. We'll say localhost / convert photo equals, and then some URL in here. And so we're gonna need to go get that photo. Hell, well, our main process doesn't even need to get the photo. Our worker can go get it for us. So let's see. Our worker should... Well, we're going to need request. And if you don't know what request is, it lets you make HTTP requests in Node. So we'll have to go get that file. So we'll create a job. And what should we call this one? We'll call that one post photo. Create job post photo. And this one will be called, we'll just call this one photo. And no, we don't want to create a queue. We want to create a job. So this will be photo. And we're going to do a lot of the same stuff here. So we'll send this one the URL. Photo URL. Yeah, I like that. So we'll call it URL, and we'll just send it the URL here. And then I'm just going to copy paste this stuff. It's going to be the same. Okay. So if there's an error, we're going to print out the error. And then when the job is complete, we're going to pipe back to the browser. All right. So I think that's all we need to do on this end. Well, we'll have to, let's see. We'll have to have options somehow. We'll figure out what those should be. Alright, so now it's going to come the fun part. Now we gotta... So we're going to have to go get that photo. Require... Okay. And, let's see. Well, I need to... let's write a function first. So let's write a function. Herver 1290. I'm sure people say your name very funnily. HVVR. Herver. Yeah. I'm losing it if you can't tell. I'm losing the speech powers. Okay. So function get photo will take in the URL and it will return a new promise that will have a function of resolve reject. Cool. And so we're gonna request. Method is gonna be get URL. I think that's it. And then this will be a function of error, response, and body. Actually, we don't need to do that. We can actually just use some streams. So this will actually just give us back a stream, and then we can pipe that into fs dot do I have fs in here? No. Const fs equals require fs. And so we want to do fs dot create write stream. I'm just going to think out loud here. Path.sep. Nope. Extension name. Ooh, is that what I want? Path.extension name. Foobarbaz.jpg. Oh yeah, look at that. We don't even need to do that thing from before. I'm sure the other thing's faster than this. Okay. So, let's see. Let's say extension is going to be path dot extension name URL. But how do I get the last part of the path? Does path resolve do that maybe? No. Parse? Oh, it's probably parse. Yeah, ooh, look at that. Okay. So, will this do HTTP requests too? That's the actual question. foo.website / .jpg. Nice. Alright, where'd we get that photo of Madonna from? Let's see. Let's make sure it'll work with something like that. Oh gosh. What did I just do? Perfect. It works. Alright. Cool. That's good to know. So path.parse. Original file name equals path.parse URL, and we want the base. And let's see, create a write stream. Well, so we need to create a write stream and write this to the disk. So it needs the path. Well, we'll just do path.join dir name. Uploads. And then original file name. Okay. So I think that'll work. So that'll write it to the disk. And then we need to know when that stream is complete. On end. And this should actually just call resolve. On error, right? Is it error? Yeah, on error, we should reject the error. All right, I think this will work. Okay, so let's find out. I'm just gonna call it here. All right, so we'll call this. This should go get Madonna and save it out. Here goes nothing. Maybe it worked. Alright, that's not working. What are we doing wrong? Streaming! Create write stream, that's what we did. Oh, there is no original name. Original file name. It's still not hitting that part. Why isn't it hitting that part? Oh, there it is. Okay, there's the picture of Madonna. So that worked, we're getting it. But why is this part not happening? You can stream any response to a file stream. You can also stream a file to a... Request can also pipe to itself. So maybe that complete files error, I mean that complete error is not getting triggered. On end. Oh no, it's there. Request on end. The end event is invoked only when all the data was consumed. The end event will not be fired unless the data is completely consumed. This can be done by switching into flow mode or by calling read repeatedly until you get to the end. Oh, I guess we can't do it that way then. Shit. On close. Close is emitted when the stream have been closed. Oh, let's try close. Ooh, okay, that worked. Nice. Nice. All right. Cool. Okay. So nice. All right. Now that that's done, we can process the photo. So we can get the photo with the job.data.url, and then what do we do then? Well, we should resolve it with the original file name. Out path. We should resolve with the out path. So path.join. We'll just move this here. Dir name uploads original file name. Create write stream out path. Boom. And then we should trigger this with the out path. All right. So now, get rid of that. So we're going to get the photo, and then photo path. And now we can tell ImageMagick to do the conversion. So get photo, okay, then it has the photo path. And we should be able to give this the photo path as the input. And then we need the out file path. Const file name equals path dot, how did we figure that out? It was path dot parse. Yes. Base. All right. Equals path.join dir name. How's everyone doing? It's been quiet for a while. Am I losing y'all? We're getting to the end here. Anyone working on any cool projects? I'm sure everyone's building something sweet. We said this should go into processed. Yes, processed, and the name should be the file name. Okay. Flanagan, that was very good. Glad to hear you're still enjoying it. All right, so we're almost there. So now this should work. I think this will work. Let's find out. So if we may have the URL code or URL decode something. We'll see. All right, where's my picture of Madonna? Convert URL equals this. Job is not defined. Okay. We didn't get first try that time. Job is not defined. Did we not create a job? Oh. Okay, that was a silly mistake. Boom! Oh, look at that. Alright, we almost got a first shot. So this should work with any photo. So let's say picture of puppies. No. Alright, let's take this cute little puppy here. Computer's slowing down too. It's not happy at all. Alright, so we got puppies.jpg. And we should be able to put that here. Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. That's a cool little project we just made. Oh, are you excited too, Bucko? Alright. Nice. So from here, it'd be just a matter of like figuring out our own syntax for the options and passing them along like they do here. Fit, crop, height. You know, we can just figure out all those things to use. So definitely an awesome service. Definitely would not want to have to build it fully from scratch. But this is neat. All right, let's see. Let's check the options. So we're saying the options here. What else do we need? We need to const URL options equals job.data. And here we can just say URL. I'm going to print out the options. I'm not sure if we're going to have to do fancy syntax to parse them out. Let's see. And options. Okay. So that one worked. Okay. I wonder if I can squish everything into here. I wonder if that'll... Nah, it's not valid. Okay. Well, let's make it work with like two. Let's make it work with resizing. Let's do resizing first. That should be easy. So we'll do if options dot gray I'm sure there's a better way to do this. Options dot size image magic resize. Oh, I think there's a resize in here. Resize, here we go. Or I think we can do this manually. Yeah, we can just pipe that in there. Okay, let's do that. So let's say photo path and resize. This should be options.size. Okay, so that should just work. Let's find out. Oh, wait. I gave it gray. Is that 100 by 100? Oh, I didn't restart the worker. That's why. Oh, look, it's tiny. 1,000 by 1,000. Oh, it's huge. Ah, that's so cool. This is a fun little project. I'm enjoying this one. So obviously we'd need to find a better way to combine these and to do them. We could do something like let image magic options equal an empty array. And so we can say, let's see. So we can say if options.gray, image magic options dot push. Can we push a list? Yeah, okay. So we want to push in set color space gray. If there's options.size, we want to image magic options. Ooh, what are you doing? Image magic options dot push resize options dot size. And so here we should be able to spread out image magic options. All right, let's see if that one works. Okay, resize still works. And options. What did I say for gray? Oh, look at that. Alright, so we should probably do options dot, we'll say color for now. I don't know if it'll work with lowercase. Oh, they want you to spell it properly. Yeah. Okay, it works lowercase too. Wow, look at that. How cool is that? Alright, so what do we have in here? We got the puppies. So obviously we're reusing the file names too, so we'd want to fix that. So we'd want to generate like a random name. So let's do, let's just do UDID4. Yeah, so let's generate like, node UUID. And so we should acquire UUID. And I think this gave us the extension. FNF is pass dot parse. Yes, extension. Okay, so hey. Extension. Okay, so path.parse, and then here I'm just gonna say uuid.v4, generate me a random one, plus extension. Okay, so that should generate a and obviously we'd want to delete these files after a period, but we're not going to do that for now. So okay, let's try that again. Let's make sure this works. So puppies. Oh, there you go. There's our uploaded puppy. Nice. All right, very cool. All right, so I'm slightly afraid, but I'll open this up. I'll let anyone play with it who wants to try it. Try right now. This seems like it could be dangerous. All right, so if you what is it? So if you go to this URL, and obviously you can change the resize options, you can change the image, but our service should be working and people should be able to play with it. So I'll upload this to GitHub. Let me do that now too. Let me see. What did I call the other Twitch streams? Twitch, okay. So we'll say Twitch, image, background converter. Okay, that looks good to me. Git ignore, let's say node git ignore, the MIT license. remote add origin, pull origin master. Alright, let's see. Okay, what can we get rid of here that we don't need? Well, we don't want processed or uploaded or Madonna. Let me make sure. How's this look? Ngrok link isn't working. Oh no. Looks like the requests are coming in. Why isn't it processing though? No, it's working now. I don't know what happened. Looks like it was blocked on something. Try it again. Ooh. Nice. Okay, very cool. Alright, let me finish uploading it. Oh, I was gonna check if there's anything that shouldn't be in here. So, ooh. Let's see. No, this looks good. I don't have any hard-coded directories. Photos. Yeah, I think this looks good. Add all the things. Alright. Boom! So I'll have to go and add instructions, but here it is. Is this something you're going to keep working on, or just a throwaway? This is probably just a throwaway project. I don't think I'll touch it again. I like having a bunch of like examples that do these things, so if you go look at my GitHub, you'll see like a bunch of like manually implemented things. Because I like having them to point somebody at. I go to a lot of like student hackathons and do a lot of like education and teaching, and it's nice to have like, you know, a project to point someone at. Like, here's how you, I don't know what's a good one on here. There's just a bunch of different things, like getting started with stuff, Rails device, just, you know, fun little things. So, yeah, good question though. Hey, we could totally make our own startup and keep building it out, right? We could be an actual Imagix competitor. That was a fun one. I enjoyed building that. I hope you all enjoyed learning that. Let's see, what else can I do in here? I'm gonna make this really big. Oh, it looks like it's hung, oh gosh. It looks like it's hung up on a certain task. I'm not sure why it's caught. What if I spin up another worker? Oh, there's a bug there. There we go. Ah, that's a big puppy. Look at that big old pupper. How big can I get? Can I get like 5,000? Whoa, look how big that puppy is. Oh, that's very cool. Alright, that was a huge doggo. Alright, well, I think I'm going to sign off. Oh, thank you very nice for the star. So I stream every other week, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday. So the next time I'm streaming will be, let me look at my calendar. The 30th. June 30th. And that will actually be the last time for a while. I'm on vacation. I'm going to Japan the beginning of July. So I will not be here the 14th, unfortunately. Well, fortunate for me, I'll be in Japan. But if y'all wanted to watch me write code. But, yeah. So thank you all so much for hanging out. Click that little follow button if you want to get alerted when I stream again, I think. I don't know. Otherwise, hit me up on Twitter if you have questions, if I can help with anything. And again, thanks for hanging out. I really like this. Might have been my favorite project we've done so far. So, everyone, I hope you all have a great night. My dog has to go to the bathroom, so I will be taking him out and then probably getting some dinner. So, cheers. Have a great